good. Wisely Preston, Bright Cimarron. Stiff Preston, belittling Cimarron. Rapturous Preston, comic Cimarron. Mocking Preston, questioning Cimarron. Groveling Cimarron, condemnatory Preston. And nervous Preston. Obedient Papagena. Or Cimarron. Papagena. Papagena. Sorrowful Preston, harsh Cimarron. Dignified Preston, Lord Cimarron. And shocked Preston, wild Cimarron. Blasé Preston, meek Cimarron. Impetuous Preston, insensitive Cimarron. All right, general thoughts now. Let's start with you two this time. How was this time different from last time?
It was more against the grain, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the words weren't as...
Yeah.
But I felt like it made us do more.
Yeah.
It was less obvious.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, someone gives you peanut butter and jelly and says, make a sandwich, you're going to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If they give you a cucumber and a jar of honey, you're going to make a really different sandwich.
This is really good. This is really good.
That's the worst thing ever.
No, that's are you kidding me? That's one of the best things I've ever heard you say. Think about it. This is absolutely true. Someone gives you peanut butter and jelly, says make a sandwich, you make a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Someone gives you cucumber and honey and says make a sandwich, you make something totally different. That makes absolute sense to me.
Okay. Maybe it is working.
You are an artistic person, all right? I'm serious. It makes sense to me. And it's actually quite sublimely deep. I know.
It sounds really good, actually. And if someone's going to serve you something, you'd rather have something you've never had before.
That's right.
It could be good or something.
Peanut butter, Miracle Whip, and a dill pickle. You know, that's what my grandparents used to eat.
Really?
Actually, that's pretty good. Anyway, good. No, this is true. This is absolutely true, and this is what you need to think about. As weird as you thought it was, it just kind of came off the hip, right?
Yeah.
Hello. Then you can do this. This is why you're so good on stage. Okay. Now, the physicality was yeah. See, they even got the flirtation thing when we're not on. Okay, so this is good. This is good. So the physicality was much more involved, right? What else do we notice? Now, y'all.
It seemed like you were more in tune with each other.
Much more in tune with each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was great.
Mm-hmm.
And Simran, good job kind of like letting go and being silly.
Yeah. When you were jumping around doing the wild thing, this little bird thing, I was like, yeah, it's Papagena, you know. There were a couple of things physically that did not work for me for attitudes. When you had hungry, what did you do? Yeah, like, what does this look like to you? Yeah, tummy ache. Hungry.
Sometimes when you're so hungry, you haven't eaten anything and you get a tummy ache.
No, that's true. But no, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. You do get a tummy ache if you're that hungry. I just get grumpy.
More to me is desire.
Mm-hmm. Good. Desire. There are many different levels of hunger and different ways to look into hunger, and that's absolutely right. If you are hungry, when I'm hungry, I don't go, oh man. When I'm hungry, all right, what am I going to find? That's just personally what I do.
When I'm hungry, I go eat food.
Well, when you're hungry, you go eat food. Well, you're hungry, here's your food. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Yeah. Throw some A1 in a barbecue pit. You know what I mean? So it's, but what I'm saying though is that there are certain things that are stock, cliche, air quote gestures. You know what I mean? And that's one of them. You know, or if I'm so sad.
I don't think I'm ever going to think that I'm hungry. That's not what I would go to when I'm singing this.
Well, but again, there's a different type of hunger, as Max so eloquently put.
I
Desire.
still think of it more as like, I would think of that more as like desire and lust, and I would never think of it as hunger. I mean, that's just, I would never do that personally.
Well, there's also, I mean, desire and lust doesn't just have to be a sexual thing either.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You know, it could be for
think
money.
that just as that.
You know, if you're in a chorus setting at some point, and let's say it's Traviata, and you're one of the gals around the gambling scene. I don't know how well you know Traviata, but if you're around the gambling scene, there's this hunger for excitement, for danger, for money, for alcohol, for sex, for all these things. And so there are all these different levels that we can tap into, right? But what I'm saying is when you do get something like that, you did absolutely what 100% of people do, is you do the first thing you think of, which is good. Now, the thing that'll bring it to the next level is doing what isn't such an automatic reflex in that way. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. There are different ways to act hungry, you know? And think about it. The other one was, oh, for crying out loud, I can't think of it right now. Who had uncomprehending? Was that you?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of questioning. Yeah, and you both did that, which is fine to do, but it can, what? Wait, you what? We're gonna have kids? You and me? Really?
Babies?
Really? You know, that kind of thing.
Right.
All right. Obviously, Max and I are not gonna have children, but you know, which is why it's uncomprehending. Do you know what I mean? So these are things that are advanced level acting procedure techniques. Okay. I mean, and it's just challenging yourself to think outside of this box. You know what I mean? I'm into miming today. I don't know what that's all about. What else? What was really, really good? Besides all of it. I mean, we've touched on a lot of this stuff. You had touched on how they were much more connected. The eye contact this time was electrifying. It was fabulous. Whether you knew you were doing it or not, just by working on these things and getting into your character, you really got into the eye contact. I think you're both playing to your physical strengths in a really good way. You know what I mean? Really, truly. You know, I mean, how many times do you hear that, oh, it was great, but I just didn't feel it between the two characters? You know what I mean? We're not going to have that problem. So now let's talk about some ideas that we can put this on stage so it has cohesion. Okay? Already it's really good. Should we just leave it the way it is? What do you think?
There was one spot where you were acting wild, and you almost jumped up into his arms. I almost wanted you to go all the way, and you like.
I was thinking I was gonna break him.
No.
He can lift me.
He can lift
fine.
you.
None of y'all in here are big enough to worry about that.
Come on. But I think that would work.
I like this idea.
Sure.
I think we need to have a kiss of three somewhere in here. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Yes.
pick on the
Yeah, or even on the lips if you guys are comfortable with that. Yes.
This song to me is really schizophrenic, it's spastic, so moods can change pretty quick.
Yeah.
Or they can take a little bit of time, or they can just go back and forth and immediately. But the characters are so just, I'm really like children. Children change their minds in seconds.
Right.
So it can be like that.
Right.
Yeah,
We are pretty childlike.
Yeah, you can get away with everything.
Sneak a kiss here and there. See what the other person does.
Papageno.
Well, I mean, in this duet, you can do, anything will work because it is so frantic and
Yeah.
mad.
And I liked how, even though you guys were at times doing your own thing and having your own moments, you were still seemed connected. Like you would still kind of look at each other. And I think that's really important because you weren't just standing there looking at each other and singing. You know what I mean? It felt like you were both in the scene, but you also, you've been waiting. You're excited. What if she gets away? What if she, you know what I mean? Like, and you want to have babies. Oh my goodness, he's so cute. You know what I mean? So you can have your own little moments. and still stay connected. I thought that was
Absolutely. The problem that has never arisen in the time I've been with y'all is a problem that arises all the time. It looks like soloists up there singing. You never want that in a duet or anything like that. If you have two soloists up here singing a love duet, it is boring and it doesn't move. It doesn't do anything. If you have two soloists up here singing an I Hate You duet, it gets boring, it doesn't move, it doesn't do anything. You see, I mean, it's always that way. And how many times have we been to an opera when we're like, they're singing gorgeous, but I'm just bored. You know what I mean? I mean, you can be singing your butt off up there, pulling out all the stops, but if the people are bored, it doesn't matter. Because singing, I told you this last week, singing is what? Starts with a C. Communication. Right. We are communicating this. We have this privilege of singing. We're the medium through which these people appreciate and enjoy and experience music hundreds of years old. You know, we're the ones that bring it to them. And that's really awesome, but also carries a big responsibility. And you guys you're doing fine. Like I said, that problem has never come up. But if you ever feel in the future that your scene is starting to lag a little bit, always look at yourself first. Think, am I doing everything I can? If you really truly believe you are, then think, how can I bring it out of my comrades or my compatriots, what am I trying to say? Colleagues. My compatriots, hey, okay. But this is important. All right, so let's stage this as a group, okay? You guys are really good. So let's start out. I want you to take the reins, you two, and tell us what's happening here. As we go along, the first section, the pop, 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 pop.
Do you want me to
Pop, pop, pop,
wear
Gina.
this and then take it off? Or do you want me to just wear it?
Well, you've already been, I mostly want the cloak for the very beginning of this, okay? Because I want them to know that you were once old and then you unveil it. So I want to think of some sort of a little dialogue we can have here to sum up these meetings beforehand into one. Okay, you don't have to necessarily do that today, but I want this over your face, way over your face, and hunched over. Okay, yeah, get the Taubedingen. Let's get you a cane even, Papagena. Oh, that walking stick, perfect. Looks like, yeah, I was thinking a short female Wotan, but yeah, Gandalf. Yeah. Thou shalt not pass. I've been dissertating, it's just... Okay, it's very good. Yeah, and just hunched over. That way they don't know if you're a man or a woman at first, except for the yellow shoes, but okay. So...
I really can't say anything. So I'm just going to take it up to you, tell me what you want me to do.
Okay.
We put we have those black sheer things.
That we use for the filling.
No, that's fine. Or, now, the other option is we were talking about y'all popping up from across the stage.
Yeah.
We can also just scrap this whole idea and have you pop up from behind trees. What do y'all think?
I like that better.
Okay.
When it's all with contact.
Let's do that. Let's do that. Beg your pardon? No, let's still keep it down there today, but let me just hand you some trees. Some foliage. We'll put one and line it up with the stage here. So that tree will probably be out where this chair is, because I don't want you to start too far out. We cannot light you if you're too far out. Do we have another big tree? Ah, there it is. There it is. I was right next to it. And that one we'll put about where the end of the piano is, because it'll be about right here.
This one right here, you said?
Yeah, we'll put it evenly here. Actually, right where you are, right there. Right there, and then let's bring this one upstage a little bit here by Cimarron. Good, good. I mean, there really isn't a whole lot of work left to do on this. It's already pretty well staged. Okay, so this is how we're going to start the show.